Hello, this is George Jellinek. The lovely lady facing me in the studio today is Virginia Zeani. She has been professor of voice at Indiana University since 1980. But what is of more immediate interest to us, she enjoyed a brilliant career as a leading soprano. That career was not international enough to match her great successes all over Italy. I've been admiring her singing and collecting her records for many years, and I'm delighted to have the opportunity to share some of them with you. Madame Zeani, Virginia.
Virginia, sì.
Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Well, it's a joy for me to be here and to have a conversation with you that I met for so long time and heard your conversations on the radio, because all my students are hearing your conversations because they become eclectic. They know a lot of things after your transmissions.
Well,
so finally
kind.
To be with you, it's a joy.
It's certainly a great pleasure to me and wonderful. And I know that my vocal scene has been heard on Indiana University radio station for many, many years. But you seem to be a very rare visitor to New York.
Well, I never have occasions to come here because I always take my plane from Chicago, Indianapolis, Chicago, and I go to Europe or where I go. So to New York, I come very, probably every year for a few days, 3-4 days, to shop, to see something, the museums, I never believed that one day I will meet you and to have this nice conversation. I would like to come sometimes in Juilliard to have some master classes because I go all around the world to have master classes, but for the moment nobody invited me.
Well, maybe some of your colleagues will be listening. You certainly will be very much welcome there too. And do you sometimes come to keep track of your many students and see how they're doing?
I never come with them. I had the students who won Metropolitan. I have to say, in 10 years I had 10 winners in Metropolitan. One of these is Sylvia McNear, another is Nova Thomas, the other one is Marilyn Mims, Susan Patterson, and who was Elizabeth Futrell, who had her debut just 2 years ago in a splendid Rigoletto in City Opera. I have, who this year it was a winner, Katrin Krasovich, one of the 8 winners.
Yeah.
Mark Brown, who had his debut in Bohème, just a tenor, a splendid tenor, just a few days ago with City Opera. And all around the world, I have in Germany a lot of students. And
you've just come from Iceland, of all
I
places.
was in Iceland 10 days to have master classes every day with great, great voices. I was surprised. All kind of voices like Christian Johansson,
yes,
who is singing
tenor.
in Metropolitan,
Great,
but
right.
a lot of voices. I heard a tenor who is incredible there. But normally he has a family, he doesn't like to come around because he has a family, children, and he's working, he's an engineer. And I had beautiful, beautiful sopranos and a splendid baritone, Bergtor Paulson, and another soprano, Sola Braga, who will sing Traviata now in Germany. And so I went to teach them all these kind of things,
Yes, well, you had a lot to teach.
Yeah.
And let me just, I'm not going to go back and go through your entire career, but because we're going to play some music. But because you are so little known, and it is such an injustice, that despite your wonderful Italian and international career insofar as Europe is concerned, you're not sufficiently known to the audience at large. So I'd like to go over the fact that you were born in Romania, but you came to Italy very young.
In 47.
In 47.
Yes.
And you made your career really, your training was Italian. You
Absolutely
studied
Italian.
with Pertile, I understand.
Yes, in Italy, in Milano, I studied with Aureliano Pertile.
Yes.
But in Bucharest, I studied with a fantastic Russian singer who was here in Metropolitan with Caruso, Shaliapin, and Titarufo. So she was a famous Lydia Lipkowska. She was a famous singer. So I prepared my roles when I was 19 with her. So I came prepared in Italy. So I had my debut in 48 with Traviata in Bologna.
Yes.
And this was very difficult, And from then, for 30 years, I sang Traviata 648 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then in 1956...
it changed my life. In 56, I had a contract to come to America to sing the Metropolitan and to have a television program. And so, but in an opera that I had my debut just in La Scala in Milano, I met Nicola Rossi Lemeni. So he was Julius Caesar, I was Cleopatra, and he asked me to marry him in a week. So I didn't marry him in a week, certainly, but in 3 months. And then I had to renounce to come to America because I was waiting a baby. So 1 year after, the baby was born. So Alessandro Rossi Lemeni, it's a young doctor in Rome. And so I married, and I put all my, I can say, my forces to have a nice marriage, a nice matrimonio, how we say.
Happy married life.
Yes, happy married life. And I was very happy for 34 years. Then I had the malchance to lose my husband. He died 2 years ago. And he was professor with me in Indiana University. So I continue this vocation because it's a completely new vocation. I never believed that I will have the patience and the joy of teaching like I have.
Yes.
Well, the problem that I have 67 different operas in my repertoire, all leading roles. And the problem that my husband sang more than 100 probably. So I know the repertoire very well. And I was always curious to know my colleagues. So I sang with all of them, from Beniamino Gigli till Pavarotti till Domingo, and all Del Monaco, Corelli, all Alfredo Kraus, all of them. And certainly I heard Callas, we were very near, and Tebaldi, and Giulietta Simeonato, and I cannot tell you how many names. I'm planning to write a book about these souvenirs.
Please do that. Before you write the book, however, I have a few questions to ask you.
Yes.
You mentioned, well, first of all, in a way I'm surprised, your son's name is Alessandro. Perhaps his middle name should have been Cesare. In as much as you met your husband.
Yeah, but he has all the middle name. He has a lot. Alessandro Marco Paolo Tommaso. And you know why? Marco, because Nicola was singing Don Giovanni in Venice. So San Marco. Paolo, because my father-in-law, the names was Paolo. And Tommaso, because in that year that Alessandro is born in 58, Nicola had the world premiere of Pizzetti's opera, The Murder in the Cathedral.
Oh, yes,
and so Pizzetti wrote these operas for him.
Yes.
And
Thomas More.
Yes, Thomas Becket, yes.
Thomas Becket, yes.
So it was a poor darling. He had 4 names, but we use only Alessandro.
Only Alessandro. And also another big event in your earlier career was the world premiere of the Carmelites by Poulenc, which you did at La Scala.
Yes, I was very happy. Poulenc came to see me in a Traviata in Paris, and he came to offer me this role in La Scala, the world premiere, saying, I like your voice for my Blanche, because it was in Italian. So certainly I was very proud, and the collaboration with him was incredible. Such an important man.
This is one of the very few operas written after 1950 that is still in the repertoire.
Yes.
For a very good reason. It's a wonderful
And
opera.
I said adieu to my career in 82 singing Mother Marie in the same opera, Dialogue of Carmelites.
You began your career in coloratura and
Yeah.
leggero roles.
Yes.
So I think that our first recorded excerpt should be appropriately the aria Qui la voce from Bellini's I Puritani.